everybody, and welcome back to B2B with Ross and Bella. I'm Bella.
I'm Rossi.
And this is officially our second episode ever. And today we actually have a very, very special guest, Miss Cami Bear.
Don't gas me up like that.
She's here with us.
Hey.
First of all, she is a very talented artist, a close friend, a singer, songwriter, fashionista, it girl, brat summer girl.
Oh my God.
Literally everything. And couldn't have a better first guest on the pod. I'm so excited to get into it. And so thank you so much for being here.
I'm honored, first of all. And you guys are the lucky humans that got me before I media trained.
Literally blessed with her presence.
Oh my God.
We have a lot of fun topics to go through this episode, and I'm really excited to dig into the life of Cami Bear. But first,
Yikes.
we have a couple things that we want to talk about.
I heard that and I literally was like,
You're like,
oh, same.
We first of all just want to say thank you so much to everyone that listened to the first episode, to everyone that sent us really sweet messages, that supported us, followed, liked, shared. It really does mean so much to us because we're putting ourselves out there in a way we never have before. Obviously, we didn't know how it was going to be received, and truly, it felt amazing just to know that we were supported and people were interested in what we had to say, and it gave us that little like push we needed to just know that we're going to keep doing this, and it feels really good and it feels really right.
Absolutely.
I'm going to explain what B2B means for those that don't know. So the podcast is called B2B because that means back to back. And essentially it's the term used in the music world if a DJ is playing with another DJ. So it's a collaboration. And not only are Ross and I going back to back in these episodes, but we're also going back to back with our guests. So we are B2B, Ross and Bella with Cami today.
So B3B.
And exactly.
B3B.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Facts.
We're all in the mix. So that's why we named it B2B. And I hope that clears it up. My mom is literally the only one that
I was literally about to ask, like, who the fuck is going to be
My mom.
Like, if anything, that's like the one thing.
I think that was for Mrs. Gambino. So shout out Mrs. Gambino.
It actually was. Hi, Mom.
She's like, Bella, what's B2B?
No, she goes, what's that mean? I go, okay, let me get to that actually. But anyway, that's what it's about. And we have some things we want to talk about.
Yes, we do. I think we want to do a little ARC recap first and foremost.
FOMO.
ARC was amazing.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Truly
I bet.
a wonderful festival.
Have you ever been?
No, I've never been. I've never been to Chicago.
Next
never
year you're
been to
coming.
Chicago?
And I
Oh my
have
God.
family there.
Chicago's
Chicago
a
is
top
Like, my
tier.
cousins live there and my uncle and aunt live there.
I say aunt.
Whatever.
You have to go. But ARC was...
In the summer, though.
Yes,
Miss
exactly.
me.
Oh, no,
with
exactly.
that-
That's one
with the
of the
wind.
only reasons why I feel like I can't live in Chicago, because it is my second favorite city after Miami. And I would live there if they didn't have the winters that are just like Buffalo. Like
My
we have
parents
for a
met in
reason.
Chicago, actually.
Really?
So I have like a bunch, weird, right? I have like a bunch of like Chicago roots, but
Have never been.
never been.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
no.
we're going next year.
Okay.
literally,
Yeah,
you're
we'll go to
coming
I'm gonna hold my
We'll go
flight
to
after
ARC.
this.
Actually,
Okay.
you're coming to ARC. It is amazing. You would love it.
Okay.
We had so
I would love
many
anything.
I
though.
mean, the
incredible moments at ARC.
festival itself is walking distance, right? So we walked from the West Loop from our buddy Jake's house to and from. The lineup was perfect. We saw Pazza, we saw Dennis Cruz, Golfos. We saw Beltron, we saw Ben Sterling, literally all the
We saw a
our
lot of
favorite
people that we've
DJs.
been wanting to see
The
that we
It
haven't,
Boys.
that we've missed
Yeah.
for like no reason, because they're always in Miami. But we got to see so much incredible music. We got to see so many friends that we haven't seen in a very long time, and we were all reunited. We got to dance, we got to hang, and it was so much fun. I'm still recovering, but it was so much fun. And honestly, that festival, like, they just know what they're doing. It's so easy. It's so manageable. It's like Factory
compared to
Town.
Coachella, like, I mean, I've never been to Coachella either, but how is
compared
it?
to
Like,
Factory Town?
Factory Town.
It's
Not
just-
comparable.
It's not comparable.
Incomparable.
Two different worlds. I mean, we walked probably like, I mean, we did a lot of walking,
But
but
also, I
it's
feel
just
like
so
Factory Town
easy.
is like more a venue than an actual
But
festival,
like,
right?
we've probably been to Factory Town collectively 50 times.
that you know of.
That I
that you can
remember.
actively remember.
Yeah, blacked a couple of those out.
It's
in our
so
memory.
funny though, because every time I go to Factory Town, I'm like, where the hell am I? Like, I actually get lost.
Because
I'm
I feel like,
what the
yeah,
fuck?
it took me like a couple runs to realize that the places, like the stages, are named the
It's
same thing every
very
time.
disorienting.
Like, I thought it was like a theme every single time. I was like, Cypress End. I was like, this one's cool.
Wait, this is news to me.
But then it kept being Cypress End, and I'm like, oh.
Wait, are you serious?
No, I'm actually not fucking kidding. Like, I thought it was a Halloween thing, like straight up.
Wait, is RC Cola part of Factory
No,
Town?
RC Cola is part of Winwood.
This was what I want to talk about.
I
Ross and
confuse them every
have
time.
no
Every
idea.
time.
Like,
I just didn't know that these
Mana,
names were real.
Winwood,
Like, you know?
we don't know.
I don't know. No, Mana, Winwood is a thing. Like, I just went to the Balloon Museum
No,
How was that?
in Mana, fuck, I don't know. What is it called?
I think it's Mana.
Yeah, whatever. I was triggered
Is that a
AF the whole
permanent?
time at the Balloon Museum.
Is that
Why?
a permanent?
Think about it.
She was trying to do them the whole time.
She's like, can I get one?
I was like, cool.
Did you see the video of the girl at Burning Man with the giant balloon on her head? And she's like,
I
Did you
did
see
not see that. It's probably my friend or something.
Bonkers.
We'll drop
Bonkers.
a
It's actually
clip in
probably
it.
one of my
someone
friends.
goes in the comments, biggest
It's
whippet of all
outrageous.
time.
Do you know that was a dog breed?
A whippet?
A
Yeah,
whippet?
yeah.
We
We want
want
one.
one.
We
Oh,
want one.
of course you do.
Because
I want one too.
Lila compared to a whippet is like the difference in leg height is insane.
It's a what? A something greyhound.
yeah, an
An
Italian greyhound.
Yeah.
So why the fuck are they called whippets? Like,
'Cause
that's
they're
just my
fast.
question.
They're
They
like-
whip through the town.
Okay.
They whip it.
No, help. Cut that out. Actually.
Oh man.
But anyway, so Arc was actually just incredible, and specifically the moment where Disclosure played Latch.
Yes.
I haven't seen Disclosure probably in like 10 years, and they're so nostalgic.
We had a
because
little
I
moment.
feel like all like Latch, When a Fire Starts to Burn, all those
Oh my
tracks
God,
are
yum.
timeless.
Yeah.
I love
and
all that
gets
music.
Everyone going.
Just everybody knows the lyrics. Too.
Yeah, and I used to think that
Everybody.
I only like loved it because it was nostalgic, but then I listened back to it. I'm like, wait, these are
I
actually
haven't
great
stopped
records.
listening.
Yeah.
These are actually
Yeah.
this is actually like good
They're
music. What's the one? Latch is Sam Smith,
so big. Yes, Sam
and then what's the Aluna George one? White Noise. There we go.
White noise.
That's a banger.
Yes.
That's a banger. I just saw like a reel of her the other day talking
all
about
of
that
their
song.
She's
tracks
on so
are,
many
like,
bangers.
very
Actually, she
nostalgic.
is a great writer.
Yeah.
So for our listeners, there's another music festival that's going on at the same time as ARC called North Coast, and essentially Chicago is just like a huge music haven during that week, right? So there's North Coast, there's ARC, there's after parties every single day.
Like a Chicago Music Week.
It's
Yeah.
like a Chicago Music
Yeah.
Week, exactly. And it's so fucking fun. And ARC and North Coast are just like beefing heavily. Like the people who go to North Coast do not like the people who go to ARC. The people who go to ARC do not like the people who go
Because
to North Coast.
ARC put on their things things that you can't bring into the festival pacifiers, and it had the ravers up in arms.
Oh, of course.
They're like, I can't bring my
The wooks,
pacifier
the
into the
wooks.
festival, and so I can chew it.
I'm like, I just don't understand how
It's
people.
like, have you ever heard of gum?
No, but like people get so pressed over something that is like
Nothing.
supporting like
Like,
illegal
no,
activity,
we
and they're
don't
like,
want-
"What do you mean?" And it's like, "Babe, we shouldn't be doing this."
Babe, you shouldn't be gnawing your fucking binky away.
Like, babe,
No binkies
it's like the
around
little
us.
kids that you like try to take their binky out, and they like
No,
start
literally.
screaming at the
no
top of their
binkies
lungs.
allowed at my festival. If I had a festival, no binkies allowed. So ARC,
Yeah.
thank you. You did the right thing.
Wait, that's so fucking funny that they banned it. They were like, by the way, no nerds.
Oh. And also no fan clacking. And when I tell you there was not a single
No
fan
fans.
clack,
But, like, how
if
do they
anything,
enforce
I
it?
was the one fan clacking. If a fan's in my hand, I have this urge to clack
And
it. But
big
I was
urge.
stopping
I
myself.
don't even know how to do that.
I was stopping myself, but I didn't hear any annoying
I didn't hear a
fan
single
clacks.
fan clack. There were a lot of fans
There
out
were
and
some
about,
woo woos.
but-
I did hear some
Kind of
woo
crazy
woo.
how that just like became such a hated thing that it then became like policy.
No, it's to the
No,
point
it's
now. If
bad.
I'm in a
It's
crowd
really
and
bad.
someone's
Bad.
fan clacking,
It's so
I go
annoying.
up to them and I said, "Stop!"
Or the Flash is crazy too.
You're ruining my
The
time.
Flash.
Flash
yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Flash is
Have
crazy.
you had bad experiences with Flash? Like, have you been
I do
on
Flash.
stage performing in Flash?
I do
But no, Bella, you do Flash. Sometimes Bella's like, and I'm just,
Well, I feel like it's one thing if it's
I
an
do Flash.
accident and like your flash
No,
is on when you're
obviously.
recording, but the first reaction has to be like immediately cover the flash.
it literally feels like
I know.
you just,
I'm usually
like,
embarrassed. I'm like, oh, sorry.
it's happened to me like by accident that like my finger slips or something on the actual flashlight, and I'm like, holy mother of pearl! If someone
of
in here
pearl.
thinks that it's my first
Yeah.
time here,
Yeah.
they're so wrong. Like, I'm like, I swear this is an honest mistake. Like, I would never do this.
You
Like,
feel like a rookie. You feel
I was
like
like,
a
I'm the
noob.
moth on the wall. Like, don't worry.
Like, I'm so
you,
sorry.
you like won't even know I'm here. Trust.
Yeah, rest of the night,
Most
my
of the
my
time-
phone's in my pocket.
Yeah, you don't even know I'm here ever.
It
Don't
is
worry.
an embarrassing moment when your flash goes
I'm actually not even here. Like,
Want to talk about the sus shirt party success?
Yes.
That is an alliteration if you've ever heard one.
sus shirt party success.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the
It's
queef
hard.
shirt?
I had to find it on the interwebs.
Okay, so we talked about this on the last episode, but we did a sus shirt party and it was a massive success. But anyway, so the sus shirts, basically Allie and I didn't have one. So I was like, let's get white tees and write some shit on it.
Yeah, you guys are creative enough.
Friday night of ARC, of course, our creative wheels were turning. I'm like, we're the Queef sisters.
Oh my God. Help.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Same.
No one was queefing. But anyway.
Sure.
Or were they?
We decided that we were going to have the shirt say eat, sleep, queef, repeat.
Okay.
They were legendary.
Hot.
They
So
came out
classic.
with a bang.
So classy.
Yeah.
We were getting stopped left and right for photos.
Tasteful.
I saw the
Tasteful.
picture of myself on Twitter days later. I go, oh, that's me in my queef shirt.
Yes.
Literally, it got.
I think the funniest part is that, all right,
It's
so it
flowers.
said eat, sleep, queef, repeat, and then you guys wrote Queef Sisters on the back. And anytime
As if
somebody.
it was a team.
Yeah, as if it was a team, as if it was a
Go
sisterhood.
Bills.
Sisterhood of the traveling queefs.
Go Bills. Go Bills.
Anytime somebody.
queefs.
Anytime somebody mentioned your shirts, you literally turn around and go, "Did you see the back though? The back says Queef Sisters. Did you see that? Did you
Also,
see
like
that?"
you and Ali together are just like thing one and thing two when
Yes.
you're together.
Actually, queef 1 and queef 2. So the shirts were a success and it was so fun.
Yes.
And so we'll be running that back. It's now a tradition. So if you come to ARC next year, just
Come.
have your shirt ready.
Yes. So ARC was a success, but I think moving towards the meat of today's episode, which is
The meat.
The meat.
She's the
Our
meat.
meat.
Why would you say that?
like the meat.
This is so far like the most sus gathering I've been at.
We want to learn
We wanna
about
learn
Cami
about you.
Bear.
Oh my God. That's
meat.
even more sus. The meat of Cami Bear. Fuck.
Okay, so one thing that I noticed immediately, like as soon as we met,
When did we meet?
was I think we met at Space, of course.
Of course.
Where we meet all of our best friends. Okay.
We met at dinner before.
Right. Oh,
Remember that? Remember that?
that dinner was illegal.
Every
That
time
dinner
I get
should have
invited
never
to
happened.
dinner.
Wait, what dinner?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's how we
Yeah,
met.
whatever. That's what we
But
met.
one of
Because
the
we went
first
to your house
things-
afterwards. I
yeah,
remember.
our apartment, our old
LOL.
apartment.
And we had some intruders. That's for sure.
Yes, we did. Anyway, there's always a little intruder. There's always one person that you're like, who invited you?
Yeah, you're always like, okay, I'm down.
Actually, there's the door. Anyway,
Depends.
I've been trying to say this for like
Get it out. Get it out.
the first thing I noticed about you is your style. You
my
have
God,
just your
thanks.
own identity. You're so completely you, and I love that. And I think that that is just an amazing thing these days where trends, it's like a lot of people look the same, but you are so authentically yourself.
I love that. Thank you.
Of course. And so I'm just curious, like, how do you describe your style?
High contrast. I'd say like I love pairing something on one end of the extreme with something on the other end of the extreme and whatever other category of style and aesthetic. I think it's what makes an outfit the most like visually appealing and interesting for me.
Yeah.
Exhibit A, I'm dressed like an actual I don't know.
Do a little turn.
Yeah, let's
You
see it.
know?
Let's see it.
No,
like-
maybe not a turn exactly.
I don't even think we fit in the camera. I'm like Catholic school energy.
Let me see those again.
Chill.
Chill.
Chill. You're gonna have to bleep
Just
this
one
one
more
out
time.
and ask people to sell you like 10 bucks
We'll
and
blur
send me
it.
everything.
We'll blur it. One more time.
Wait, but like where's it? Oh, hello.
Blur.
It's giving leprechaun, but like in
It's
you see
giving
those?
click the heels for
So
the
that is contrast, and I do like what I'm
and like
seeing.
I think that applies to like everything
Yeah.
in my life and in my brand and in my visual identity and also my music. Like I'm huge on like having things be first of all unpredictable and high contrast is like the umbrella term, and then everything that goes under that is like being unpredictable and like just having like unexpected collaborations or unexpected
Right.
like mix and matches. Like I think that's what makes fashion interesting for me.
Yeah.
You said your high contrast is not only your outfits and your fashionista side, but like you also said that applies to your music. What does like high contrast in your music look like or feel like or sound like?
I think it's super cool when whatever you're saying in a song, let's say that the beat is like really like bubbly and like girly and cute, and then your lyrics are like a little bit more vulgar and like dirty and nasty and like have a little bit more swag. Like I think that's really dope.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that's something that I like to do with my music. Like whatever the song sounds like, let's do the exact opposite for message,
like,
concept,
The
you know?
lyrics.
Would
Yeah.
you say 180, right? One of your more recent releases or your
Yeah.
most
I
recent
mean, I think
releases
180,
like that?
yeah, I think 180 in general is I think 180 in general, I mean, if you listen like from like an outsider's perspective, like outside of knowing what I just said, it is like a trappy like R&B beat under like an R&B chorus, verse, whatever, everything. So, it does feel like it belongs, but when you look at like the visual branding that I did for it, like I don't know if you guys remember like the cover art that I did for it, it was like really pink and cute.
Poppy, right?
Yeah,
and then
right?
like the pictures that I did for it, like the kind of like the rollout on social media that I did for it was like very like cute, like digital like world, and then it made up for it with
the lyrics,
with whatever I was talking about on that one.
Talking about riding boys. So good though. Honestly, I love that track. It's so Dua Lipa-esque and like just is extremely vibey, and it's very catchy.
Thank
I
you.
literally find myself, I'm at my desk, and obviously we've been preparing for this episode, but like I'm like, is it you or is it me?
Ross
Like,
wants to really be on the track with you.
Yeah, no,
And
I think we should let him. I think we should give him a chance.
He wants his moment. To
I do have a
I've never
rapper
seen someone
undertone.
bring up this song more than
Thank you.
me.
I love that.
No, honestly
It's so
though,
good.
Cami, it's a really,
It
really
is.
amazing
Thank
song.
you, thank
and
you.
I
It's
love
really
it.
special,
and
too.
I am dying for the one you've been teasing on
Oh my God.
TikTok.
I have so
Tell
many
us a
more.
little
Oh my
bit
gosh.
more about that new track, if you can.
If we're talking about the same one, which I think we are, like the Motorola one.
Yes.
I still don't know what it's going to be called, but Motorola just like glides off the tongue nicely, so I've been calling it that.
Okay.
I am looking for another title for it, but I think it's going to
that's a
be
really good title.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those things where it just like ends up being what I said it wasn't going to be, and then we're just here because like whatever. But yeah, I actually did that song with a producer that I work really closely with. His name is Slomar. He's amazing. Shout out. It was our first time working together actually, and that just happened within a session, and we were
Wow.
like, it's this thing when like you make music or any sort of art, but particular like in specific, I'm talking about like when you're in a studio session and you make a really special song, like you both know and everyone in
You
the room
feel
knows
it.
it's like a good one, and like it's just always a good one. It's like the song that when someone asks you like, oh yo, like play me shit, it's
Yeah.
the first song you show people.
Yeah,
you
you're
know what I
proud.
mean? You're like really proud of it. I feel like that's like Motorola was a really like big step for me in terms of creation, because I feel like I kind of started to like, I feel like I'm onto something.
Do you find that like a song that you can produce within one session, or like you produce quickly, is like often one that you're more interested in, or is
Damn.
maybe gonna be better, versus one that you're like, I need to piece this along, it's not coming
I don't
to
know.
me,
I mean,
it takes 5 different sessions?
It's interesting because I think it depends. Like, there's a lot of songs, and a lot of people will say like, it shouldn't, like, you know, like a good song just happens. A
Right.
good hook just happens. Like, if it's the hook, it should come first. Like, it's like what comes when you most naturally hear it.
Right.
But I mean, I think I disagree with that to some extent. Like, I do really agree with the fact that like timing in the moment is everything, and like a
Right.
good song will just happen, and like that it is what it is. And like sometimes the best songs you write in like 10-30 minutes, and like 10-30 minutes I know sounds crazy, but it's very doable. Like sometimes
Yeah.
people just like whip out a hook like when they're walking around the street, and
Yeah.
like I'm always like fucking doing like little voice memos whenever something comes to me,
When
because
you just get a
you
peak of
just never
inspiration.
know when those things are actually going to come in clutch, because you can't just go into a studio and force yourself to be creative.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, I do that all the time, but you should never like ignore the signs and like the epiphanies that you get from just like existing and being out when you're not being forced to be creative,
Yeah.
and it just comes to you. Like, that's super special. But like what I was trying to say is there's nothing wrong with piecing together a song. That doesn't mean that it's not going to be like as good or that it's not right. It's just like puzzles. Some of them are
Right.
a little bit, they take a little bit longer to, you know, kind of get that final product, but it will always be worth it.
Yeah.
I feel like those moments, those ideas can be so fleeting too at times.
Yeah,
If you
for
don't
real.
voice record them, if you don't write them in your notes, it's
That's what
like,
I'm saying,
wait,
like, they
what is
come
that?
and they
That's
go.
gone.
You know, you always think I'll remember this, and
No,
then
you
you go
won't.
to remember it, and you are like, wait, I don't.
I promise you won't.
That's why
It's like
a
a
girl's
dream.
notes section on their phone is
literally-
T. It is T.
Could-
Can I literally go through your note section?
I have
It's outrageous.
700 notes in my phone. You probably have more.
I have trillions for sure.
If
yeah.
anyone got to my notes, it would be
I'd feel
game
naked.
over. Everything's
yeah.
in there.
And ever since I started like actually like songwriting outside of my project, like for other artists and stuff, having a little handy dandy notepad with cool concepts and cool phrases and cool one-liners and just words that sound cool that you haven't heard yet, like be made into a song.
Yeah.
Having that on deck is so important, because you never know who you're going to be in the room with, and you never know like what kind of story this person's trying to tell. And sometimes like
Right.
that really comes in clutch. And
Well, okay, so you know I lost my notebook.
yeah,
Okay. I lost
That's
my
wild.
notebook. And it was not just my personal notebook. I have like all my 2024 goals. I have like 75 hard, which I never did, written in
It's
there.
the goals for me.
All
Like if
the
someone read my
things.
goals, I'd actually.
I was so embarrassed. But anyway, I set this notebook on the car and we drive off and the notebook is gone, okay? I'm sick to my stomach. I'm looking around everywhere, calling the place. I'm like, do you have my notebook? No one finds my notebook.
Also,
I
like
get
a notebook is
call.
something that I would just literally walk by.
Right.
Well, so
Many people would.
this notebook got passed around because
The burn book.
I get a call at 4 a.m. the night that I had lost the notebook. I ignored, and then I realized it's a Miami number, so I'm like, let me call this number back or text him. So I text, I'm like, hey, who is this? He goes, is this Bella? I said, yes. He says, can I call you? So I said, okay, sure. He calls me and basically says, hey, I was in a bus stop and saw this notebook sitting there open, and I looked through it, and I got to know you a little bit from this notebook.
That's
like,
wild.
You saw
Read her goals.
he literally goes, you seem like a very goal-oriented person. Is this your goal book?
Goal book.
Goal book. I said, yeah, it is my goal book. I
To a
said, I
degree.
can't
You're like, you have to set goals for
believe-
yourself every day.
Can't believe you found this.
Wake up.
I'm like, can you return this to me? He is the sweetest guy. Alejandro, if you're listening to this,
I'm
I love you.
fucking dead.
I love you, baby. He returned my notebook to me. He brought it to me. And honestly, I just feel like we had been talking about the universe. Like the universe actually had my back. Honestly,
It kinda
just
give you hope.
goes to show that there are good people in the world. And it made me feel good.
Yeah,
It
because
made
like
me
it's
feel
crazy
good.
to think about the fact that there's, like I said, good people in this world. I would consider myself a good person.
Yeah.
But I trust no one.
Yeah.
So when people are like the same as me,
Well-
like when you were like pick up Ultra tickets, like back in the day, and you're like, Dad,
these
come with me to
legit?
pick up these Ultra tickets, and my dad's like. I know, I'm like that's like not like a relevant experience for anyone. My dad coming.
never did that.
I said
Yeah.
it like it was like, yeah, back in the day
That's
when
the
me and Pops
Miami-
used to
that's
go.
Well,
the
so
Miami
for those that
upbringing
don't
right
know,
there.
Cami is a Miami native, and
Born and
also
raised.
like my Ultra experience. I got those tickets online. They were like my Christmas ticket,
No, babe.
or my Christmas present.
Me and my dad have fucking done some.
What
We've done some big ones
was
to
that?
get those Ultra tickets.
What was it like for you growing up in Miami?
Oh my god. Well, if that didn't give you a cute little snippet.
Going to Ultra at like age 10.
No, I think I was 15 when I went. I
On
went
your
with a
dad's
bodyguard.
shoulders.
I went with a bodyguard to Ultra my first
No way.
time. Yeah, it's the only reason my dad let me go.
Is that, okay,
guys,
was that your first concert?
No.
Okay.
My first concert was the Jonas Brothers.
Excuse me.
Nice.
Let's go back. A bodyguard?
So I got it. So I had been wanting to go to Ultra. You know when you're like just younger and you're like craving that festival
Oh.
experience, like
Yes.
Tumblr.
Yes.
Fucking rotted my
No,
brain to the
you don't
point.
know.
What? Just girls on guys' shoulders?
Yeah, just like
Dude, the
infinity
obsession.
signs. Like I was like,
The obsession I had with going to Ultra, I can
No, no.
I understand you right
and
now.
I would literally
heavily.
listen to like, I would watch like the UMF lives, and I was like,
Oh my god,
like,
I was so
we could
obsessed.
just run those red lights. I don't even think that was out in like what I'm talking about, but I used to actually like glorify like festivals in general before
Yeah,
I was even allowed to
same.
go to one, because I wasn't allowed to go to any.
Yeah.
Because obviously like I was 14, I had no business being at those things. Now looking back, I'm like, no.
Only with the bodyguard.
No. And so then my dad, obviously I asked him if I could go to Ultra when I was in 8th grade, and he was like, no, like, no, baby.
Is Ultra
That's
all
not-
ages?
It's,
It has to be, right?
I think it used to be, and now they did a rule that it was like over 18 or
I
something.
hate
don't
when
know.
I see a kid or a baby at a festival. I hate it.
Why?
I do see a
I
little bit of
hate
myself
it
in them,
so
though. I won't lie.
It's not that big of an issue. Like, as long as their parents are being respectful and like responsible, it's like honestly kind of
'cause
a
that
good
when the
area
parents
for
bring
kids.
them?
Like, yeah. So like my brother.
Well, it
has
depends what
brought-
kind of festival.
My brother and sister-in-law have brought their kids to a festival before, and like, it's low key a good area for a kid if you think about it. Like running
Okay,
around.
but like I wouldn't say
stumbling
like an
upon-
electronic music festival is going to be
I
good
mean,
for a
there's
kid.
there's lines to
I
draw
personally
in the sand, but-
disagree. I think a kid has
Like the
no
kids at
business
Burning
being
Man.
anywhere
No,
near
but
a
that's actually,
festival.
but Burning
Wait,
Man is not a festival.
are
I'm
there
not calling-
kids at Burning Man?
Yes, like babies go to Burning Man, but that's different. That's like an experience. That's like a sacred thing for people. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
and
But
like
I've never-
and there's
I
a
haven't
lot
seen
of
any-
people at Burning Man that are just there for like.
Quickly,
You know,
speaking
like-
of Burning
yeah,
Man, did
the
you see
experience.
what Rufus DeSoul did with Smacker Bloom?
This
I didn't see that.
Bro.
the Smacker Bloom is like a thing now.
Bro,
Oh, I did see that. I did see that on
please,
TikTok.
If you
Yeah.
haven't, you like,
I died. Yeah, I saw that on
That's
TikTok.
funny.
the
That's
world's
like,
divided on
I
this.
feel like they were trolling. Were they
They're-
not trolling?
Not at all.
You don't think
I
they
thought they were
That's
trolling.
No, they
I
weren't.
think they were trolling. How
I
do
don't
you
think
know?
they
Are
weren't.
you in Rufus's head?
I talked to Rufus and he said
okay.
They're like,
Rufus, you're not trolling.
I I'm dead ass.
You're like, yeah, last week. You're like, last week on the pod.
No,
he
I
talked about it.
We had him on the pod a couple days ago, and he literally was like, I wasn't trolling. I dead ass love Smacker Bloom.
Oh my God. Wait, what were we talking about? Oh, Miami.
Yes.
Okay.
We got off course, but
Yeah.
look up Smacker Bloom. Let me know your thoughts. I think it's atrocious.
I've only listened to it for like 15 seconds, and I think that was it.
They don't go. They just
Tell
don't
me,
go.
tell me about growing up.
So
in Miami.
growing up in Miami,
Bad or good?
yeah, I mean, listen, I think it could go both ways depending on how you're raised, your support system, and also just like how you develop as an individual. I think all of those factors are really important to consider with your Miami experience. I was really lucky because my parents are my besties, and I've always just had like a really good support system with them at home and with my friends in general. So I feel like I was, like able to do a lot in terms of like be at a lot of things, no matter like, and not just like stay within like a certain like niche or like bubble or whatever. Like I was able to branch out and do a lot with my upbringing here,
Yeah.
and it didn't affect me. But there's a lot of people that don't have the same situation, or they're just like, I don't know, they go down different paths. And
Yeah.
I think Miami can be a really dark place,
It can
as
be-
you all
that's
know.
so true.
Yeah, there's a lot of temptation here. There's no limits. There's no boundaries.
It can be like the worst thing for people, or
You have to
can
have
come
I
from,
mean, there's a
like,
lot of people that
it's
like
so healthy.
just need to get out of here. Like there's people that are like, I can't go. Like they think
But-
everyone that doesn't live here, when you talk about Miami to them, they're like, I just don't know how you live there,
Right.
let
I
alone
know.
grew up there. And I'm like,
I know.
I'm just there like, yeah, but
it was-
that's why I am how I am. Like
Right.
I give Miami a lot of credit. Like it bred me to be the person that I am today, because
Yeah.
like it's really taught me so much. It makes you grow up really quickly, that I will say.
Yeah.
It's kind of like New York City in that sense, that like it makes you like, get
Yeah.
toughen up a little bit, because it exposes you to real life shit from an early age. And like I think going to clubs with like promoters and stuff when I was like in high school also like developed some major
Yeah.
fucking character.
Yeah.
That, along with like just always hanging out with like grades above you and all that shit,
Yeah.
plays like a huge part.
Yeah, I honestly think though it's like, yes, you can be in a city that's going to enable you, so it's easy if you want to do that stuff.
It's all about, like, learning how
if
to
you want to
set
party,
boundaries,
you
too.
can, but
Yeah.
also it doesn't matter actually where you are. You're going to do what you want to
I
do.
totally agree with that.
And like, I think I have a personal example. Like when I first moved to Miami, I moved here in 2018. Everyone said, you're going to get sucked into the party life. Like, watch out. It's crazy. There's like scammers, crazy
I
party
just
people,
don't
all
think
this
there's
shit.
anything wrong with that, though.
Well, and I was like, no, I won't. No, I won't. I did. But it made me who I am
next thing you know,
today.
Bella's with flash at space. And Miami's a great place to like figure shit out.
Yeah.
Because it will teach you things whether you like it or
You
not.
well, basically, you have to learn discipline because you have
You
two
do have
paths.
to learn
You can
discipline, yeah,
literally
for
be
sure.
at the club every single night if you want to.
If you- there's
or
something every single day.
You
And-
can
Yeah.
understand that
When I was in high
that's
school,
not
we
how to
would,
live,
yeah.
and then you decide and you pick and choose when you're going to do that. And I think that that's just comes with like discipline and growing up, but it is easy to get sucked into partying
Yeah, no,
here.
I
And
mean,
if I was growing up here, I would definitely be at
wild.
live at like age 14.
Yeah, no, it was like all that shit that people say, like when they try to talk about like, oh, like growing up in Miami, like I bet you were doing this. I'm like, yeah, no, I literally was. Like that's genuinely
Yeah.
like exactly how it is. It's
you
just
would be
all
too.
about how you like, yeah, and you would be too. But it's all about how you like, it's what you do with that information.
grow.
And a lot of crazy things happened. I mean, I saw a lot of crazy shit happen, but I've had friends have a lot of crazy shit happen to them, and like that also helps you learn.
Yeah.
And not to say like, okay, that's what I'm not gonna do, but it's like, you learn from other people's mistakes.
Oh yeah,
and
it's
you,
like a warning sign.
yeah, it's like warning
Stay away
signs
from
and
this.
like, yeah. Also, I will say like, it does give you a lot of, I want to say, is it grit? Is the word grit?
Grit, yeah.
Just, like a lot of edge, a lot of grit.
She's like, ¿Cómo se dice grit?
No, and it's helped me a lot. ¿Cómo se dice? It's helped me a lot with being in the music industry and dealing with the music industry as a girl, because I'm not soft at all.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that Miami's given me, and I will give it full credit. Like, obviously, I've been raised right, and like, I've done my fucking homework to become the person that I am today, and I'm always learning. But Miami played, I would say, like 90% of that. Like, it's just,
made you who you are.
no, it literally made me who I am.
But Buffalo for us like added grit in our own unique way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think any city you grow up in, it totally shapes who
Also,
you are.
nothing
Yeah.
impresses me.
Shapes
Like in the sense,
That's great because
in
I
the
think
sense of like
that's what Buffalo did.
like music and like just
Right.
like navigating, especially as a girl, like within the music industry, like you're sold the fucking dream every
Yeah.
single time you have a conversation with anybody important, or with like I don't know, people are always trying to like, oh yeah, like flex on you or do
Yeah.
whatever,
Flexing
and like
hard.
trying to get you to like do shit with them and like whatever. and like living here and like just having done my part as like a Miami native has really taught me to like filter out like the cappers, filter out like
The cappers.
No, for real.
That's
like
huge.
it just like you can like smell.
I feel like for that industry especially is like,
No, it's
that's like,
amazing.
you need to learn that lesson or
Yeah, and
else
it-
like I
it's
feel like innocent girls walking like the LA scene and they're promised this, that, the other thing, and then all of a sudden they're in a black hole of like
It's like
bad
come to this
things.
party tonight. Like so and so is playing, and
You're
like these people are gonna be here, and
shut
I'm
the
like,
fuck up.
cool.
Yeah.
I know.
I went there in 10th grade.
No, but like they're like ultra like VIP. I was like, I was 15. I went with a bodyguard.
I'm curious to know, obviously Miami has shaped you and you got into music. What got you there? When did you decide that that was something you were going to pursue actively? And
Yeah.
what was your first big moment?
Your big one.
Your
What was your big one?
What was your big one?
Fill us in on the big one.
Well, I used to have this like crazy timeline on myself, comparing myself to Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana, because like that's who I grew up on. Like that was my fucking bitch growing
This is
up.
the mold. This is
No,
what we need
that
to
was
be.
the fucking blueprint for me. So I was like, okay, she shot her audition tape when she was 12 years old. I'm 8. I have 4 years to decide what to do. Like it's not too late.
That's adorable.
It's not too late. I was like, it's okay. Time kept passing by. 9 years old, still haven't started a YouTube channel. Okay, we're fucked, right? I was like, no, we're not fucked yet, actually. 10 comes
2
by.
more years.
10 comes by. I'm like, fuck it. Kept stalling. Like I was
Playing
procrastinating
outside.
under the age of 15, which is wild. I didn't even know like you could like develop those lazy
Not
characteristics.
you saying
that-
you were 10 installing. You were literally being a child living life.
I was like, I should have worked harder. Whatever. Yeah, I remember it would like haunt me before going to sleep. I was
Oh
like,
my God.
because I was like so like FOMO of like child actors and
focused.
stuff. I was like, fuck, like I should be getting my shit together. I was doing like musical theater, like drama camp, like drama classes after school, like shit like that. I was obsessed. I was like, I wasn't a theater kid, but I loved like my after school like drama class to like just get like acquainted with the craft. To get acquainted with the craft. I was Tinkerbell and Peter Pan also.
no way.
Yeah.
Very fitting.
Anyways, and that's my password on a lot of my socials.
Oh, maybe we'll cut that.
No, but not.
She's telling her password for no reason.
Anywho,
Tinkerbell 1 2 3.
no, literally. No,
Do we need to cut that out?
no,
Is that
no,
your
no,
real
not
password?
my Instagram one, because Instagram
She's like,
happened after.
just Twitter
I
and
grew out of
Facebook,
that.
not
Like
Instagram.
Webkins.
Oh,
It was my Webkins
I knew you were a
password.
You can
Webkins
leak
bitch.
Duh.
Were you a Neopets bitch?
Like to some extent, but I feel like I was more Webkins because I love the fact that I could have like a stuffed animal instead of like
I need to say one thing about
What?
Webkins. When I was young.
my username was Cock2 on
What?
Coctua?
no Cock2 because I thought cock was abbreviations for cookie. Like I thought it was short for cookie.
Your
I
dad
can't believe
shows up on
admin
your
wasn't like,
webkins,
this
you're
username is not
That's what it
acceptable.
looks like.
It's like.
Wait, were you a Club Penguin bitch?
Of course.
Were you a secret
I got
agent?
suspended from a club.
Were
Penguin
you a secret
600
agent,
times.
yes or no?
Yes, and I would use a cheat codes.
Thank you.
To like do the little missions.
If you weren't a
I've been
secret
side
agent on
questing
Club
since
Penguin,
then.
you weren't playing the game.
I've been side questing since back in the day.
That is literally what made us
I was like,
side
fuck it,
quest.
pizza parlor.
I'm like, I have to go do a mission right now.
I'm at the igloo.
Meet me at the igloo, bitch.
Left, was it left, front left?
I want to play.
Front left.
I want to
Left at the igloo.
play.
Anyways, so Hannah Montana blueprint, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, yeah, I was fully using her as my mold and blueprint for timeline. And I was like, if I don't do it this way, I will never achieve the dreams and goals that I'm aspiring to achieve.
Yeah.
And yeah, so after that, I kind of just like, I don't want to say gave up, but I became like a closeted singer, I would say. Like I would do my talent shows and I would sing any single time I got the chance. Like if my friends were like, don't you sing? I'd be like, fuck it. Like I already whipped out like the
You're like,
karaoke version.
I do
And I would just spend like hours. Like I remember in college, like since I made a lot of new friends in college, they had no idea about my singing. And then one friend of mine like brought it up like, wait, don't you have a good voice? And I was like,
I've been waiting
fuck
for
it.
this.
I was like,
I
I
thought
was like,
you'd never ask.
I've been waiting for this one. And I would play songs and they would just be like, what the fuck? More. And I would sing to them like all night.
So this is like 10 to 20.
Yeah, this is like a really big chunk. And I'm gonna like, again, not that I like gave up on the vibe, but like I was just like a little bit like, I just was like, I don't want to deal with thinking about that. Like, yeah,
that's a lot.
like I knew that I wasn't like being myself. Like I knew that this was like my passion and something that I always wanted, but like nothing really motivated me to like take action. And I think I also had a lot of like work I had to do on myself. I wasn't like really confident at all, like physically. Like I've always had like I've always been like really sure as to like who I am. Like I've always carried myself really well, but I think I just had a lot of like insecurities that like ate me alive that I didn't really have time to like be like, oh, and now I'm gonna do the most vulnerable thing you could ever do and sing for people and see if they like it or not. You know, I was like, I'm fine with just like singing a few instrumental versions for my friends and like whatever, but I wasn't fine with that. And then when COVID hit, it just like kept haunting me. Like it literally kept haunting me. I remember anytime I would see anyone on my feed that was like an artist, I would skip right through it because I was like, I'm literally jealous.
Yeah, you're like, it should be me.
Yeah, like I was like, this is so fucking annoying. Like I'm literally jealous that I'm not, that I didn't just like do this like from the jump. Like it was so annoying. And then when I saw that the world was ending, because I literally thought the world was ending. It is ending, but
it is ending.
It is currently
if you don't
ending.
know, now you know.
Yeah, guys, newsflash, the world is ending. But
slowly but surely.
I did look directly into the camera for that one. Like I knew, like I knew something. Like I knew something.
She's like, I'm trying to communicate.
I was like, guys,
from another universe.
I'm like blinking twice. Anyways, so yeah, and then COVID happened, and I just ripped the Band-Aid off. I never thought that we would go back to normal again. So I was just like, yeah, I think it's time to do something. I was like, I don't know how much this was actually going to do for me, like, because I don't know like if I'll ever be able to like do anything with this, but the least I could do is start while we're fucking locked in our houses and I don't have to do any shows. Yeah. Like I was like, I'm just gonna,
and I was like,
I'm gonna rip this one.
A little shortcut.
I was like, fuck it, remote school, like, remote career.
You weren't alone in that. So many artists popped off during COVID.
Yeah, I mean that's how the Gorgon City stuff happened.
Fred again,
literally because of COVID.
All these major artists.
All right, so background on that is you are the vocalist on a pretty major Gorgon City track, right? It has
great
like
record.
3 million
Great record.
streams.
If you haven't listened, listen to Body Language.
Body Language with Mrs. Cami Bear here. How did that come to be?
COVID, literally. So when all of this was happening and I was starting to post covers, because I only started doing covers, like I never once had the intention of like writing my own music. I didn't even know what that meant beyond like writing poems. You know what I mean? Like, cause I was always like into like writing poems and like shit like that, and like writing and then maybe playing like 2 chords and seeing if it turned into a song. But I wasn't like who I am today. Duh. Like I'm not like just sitting down and being like, all right, concept, beat, like whatever. Yeah, because it's shit you have to learn. And then nothing, like I just started doing all the covers and I was on a boat. So sorry that I was on a boat during COVID, but I was. I heard this one song play on the guy's boat that I was on, and I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty good. Like I hadn't heard like an electronic track in a really long time that resonated with me since I was fucking practicing for my ultra appearance in my room. Yeah, since I was practicing.
Like, I'm playing
No,
ultra.
guys, how wild, you won't even believe me, when I was like putting Ultra Music Festival like live, like, and like wanting to be there and like living vicariously through those people. Like I would literally put music and just like practice how I would dance in the mirror at the festivals, because I was like, how would I dance if I was so there?
Good, though,
and I listened to Imagination by Gorgon City.
Best track.
Okay, so full circle, when I hear this song and I'm like, damn, this is actually kind of good, I Shazam it and I see that it's Nobody by Drama and Gorgon City. So I'm like, oh my god, wow, like I can't remember the last time I saw this name. Like I've seen this name in so long. And that was because I know they took like some time off, like in between releasing, and nothing, that song just stuck with me. Like it continued to like just be played in my car. And
it's
like,
an amazing song.
It went straight to my playlist and I was ripping it for so long. Like I was obsessed for like maybe like 2 weeks, like when you're just like on those like little song benders.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, when you're just when you're hooked on a song.
The song benders are infectious.
When you find a really good song, yeah, that was it. And I remember I was like walking on the Key Bridge, literally like getting my daily dose of vitamin D because I was locked in a fucking cage. And I heard it and I was like, you know what? When I get home, I'm literally showering and I'm going to do a cover to this. I'm going to strip it down. And I did like a little acoustic version to it because it is like an R&B melody. And I did. And then I didn't really think anything of it. It was just like one more into the ether. And
you posted it?
I posted it. And then a week later, they liked it and I freaked out. I remember I was like drunk sitting down and I'm like and I like screenshotted it and put it on my close friends. I was like, guys, and everyone's like, oh my god, like freaking out for me.
Oh my god.
Did you announce it? You're like, guess who liked my story?
I put it on close friends. I was like, I just like put the thing. I was like, oh, embody. Like I was like flexing. I was flexing. And
little did you know.
No, and then I was like, okay, like let's see, like. And they commented on it and I'm like, oh my god, like I can't believe it. It had been a week, so imagine, like for me this was old news. Like I was like, and whatever, I was posting covers every day, so I'm like, fuck that, you know.
Was
like,
that the first attention you'd gotten from like a big artist?
The first attention I'd gotten from a big artist was Sebastian Yatra. He reposted my cover once. So I did a cover. If you guys don't know who that is, he's like a really successful singer in like Latin and urban music. He's incredible. And I covered one of his songs. And I think I covered one of his songs and I made everybody and their mothers tag him in it and like send it to him, and he ended up reposting it on his story. So I was actually freaking out about that.
Yeah.
But that was just like a little repost and like nothing else. He was like, yeah, okay, like she's good. Next, anyways. But this was
it's
like
something.
Yeah, no, but this was like, and for someone that literally is just posting covers, it meant everything. And then the Gorgon City shit happened, and then I just like DM'd Gorgon City and I was like, hey, could you like repost this on your story? What?
You
like,
gotta ask.
but so
Shoot
green.
your
That's
shot,
literally
baby.
the greenest thing I've ever
Shoot
heard.
your shot.
Like I would never do that now.
Yeah, but honestly,
Why not,
I feel
though?
like you
Literally,
have
why
to
not?
put yourself out there.
I don't know. Actually, you guys are right.
If no one's you're the only person who's gonna do it for you, unless you have a
You
team,
miss
right? You have a
100%
manager.
of the shots you don't take.
Wayne Gretzky.
Oh my god, did you make that up? I'm kidding.
Listen, I'm here with the quote.
And
But yeah, you should still do that.
no, I
You're your
still
biggest
do
advocate.
it to some extent, but sometimes I wish I wasn't so polluted with like not advice, but like polluted by like just
What
like
other people
stigmas
think?
of
Yeah.
like stigmas of like being like green and like not like playing your cards right
Yeah.
type shit. But
Yeah. I
I didn't give a fuck back then. I was just like I was literally just doing covers and I just wanted them to post it on their story. I was not expecting to get any music out of this. I think in my brain at the time I was expecting for them to repost it, and that was my big break. Like that
The
was
big
it.
one?
Like that my big one. Like Scooter Braun was gonna come knocking on my door after that one and being like $1 million trillion record deal. That's not what happened, but they did ask me if I had original music. And the answer was, yeah. I was like, define original.
Is original a cover?
I was like, define music. I was super confused as to what to say to that. But I was like, I just know.
The answer is yes.
No, and in that moment, I did become a professional. I was like, yeah, I do actually.
Yeah.
And they're like, amazing, send us stems. I had to Google, what the fuck are stems? At first, it was like the stem of the plant.
What are
Then
stems?
Stems are like when you send over like actual like files from a project over to another computer. Like the stems, like it's just like the files of the project. It's like the WAV files, like the little like.
So is it just like you
It's the
singing
parts.
with
It's
no
the parts of the
background
song.
music?
Yeah, it's the parts of. It's all the separate parts of the song.
Everything that comes
like the
together
stems.
to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
a song.
Yeah, the backing. I need every
Like the raw
element. It's all
files,
the
right?
elements. It's all the elements
Okay.
of what's going on in
See,
that
we
project
learn
file.
here on
yeah.
B2B.
And honestly, there's definitely a more concise definition for that, but that's how I know it. And
Stems are stems.
Stems are stems at the end of the day. But little me did not know that. So I Googled it and I was like, stems music. And then I found what it was and I was like, okay, how do I export? Like I didn't know. First of all, you have to have an existing project file to send over stems.
Right.
So that was step one. I was like, let's write a song. So
That's
I
funny.
got
You
my
went like backwards. You're like, how do I export? You're like, you need something to
well,
export.
first,
Okay, how do I-
babe, you need something.
Yeah.
So I Amazon Primed a MIDI cable, which I also that day I was today years old back then when I discovered what a MIDI cable
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, so how do I get the music from the piano to the laptop?
the most important piece.
I was like, how do I record this?
That's the
and so I
true
used
stem, if you think about
Garage
it.
Band, guys.
Yeah.
I used all my music peeps know how crazy this is, especially to like Gorgon City when you're like, yeah, I have my own original music and you're sending shit over. And so I got my MIDI cable. I recorded a few chords, and I sang over some foul lyrics. Like if I were to like go back and listen to those, I remember I sent them and Kai was like, yeah, so it's not quite what we're looking for, but maybe try and switch around.
quite.
He's like, maybe try and switch around like this word for that. And I was like, okay. And so I like kept sending him things and like, I didn't know that back then, but now I do know that time in between messages is very normal in the music world. It's not like when you're texting your best friend and she's supposed to answer you like
You're
within
like
the day.
refreshing your phone every 5 seconds.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
"Did he
I'm like,
respond?"
it's been a day. They hate me. It's been a day. They hate me. So that was like my thought process.
Yeah.
Back then. Now I know that it's cool if a month passes, shit happens. None of us have brains. None of us have an organized schedule. None of us. We're just artists. Like
Yeah.
we're not
Right,
supposed to
right.
be on top
Yeah.
of our shit at all.
Yeah.
I mean, we are. Me talking to anybody important listening to this, like I do. Have
I
my
am
shit
though.
together. I actually do know.
I'm
Yeah,
not like the rest.
I'm pretty perfect, actually. Yeah. So then I sent over more music, and I never heard back from them. And I was like, well, it was nice while it lasted. Again, I wasn't looking for anything from this. I was just happy that I got to talk to people that, because it's rare that your first experience is with someone that you actually know and think is good.
Yeah.
Like it's different when you're like, you find out about them through them reaching out to you, like, oh, who's that? Oh, they're actually this cool DJ. Like I knew exactly who they
You
were.
didn't need to be put onto them.
Exactly. So that's why I was like, wow, that's it. I'm honored. Cool. Whatever. And then they hit me up with Body Language. They just sent over a demo and I recorded over it. I got them the new vocals for it. And again, radio silence after that, which is normal. I just remember them being like, you killed this. And I'm like, great. I'm like, so where the fuck is the song? Like 10 minutes later.
Is that how it typically works? Is like you send over your lyrics, you send over your stems, and you don't know if you're necessarily going to be picked for it. And that
you just have no idea. I think in music in general, you don't know anything ever.
Right.
Like literally ever.
Until it's like actually just out.
Even the best songwriters sometimes will just like write in a session and like they'll find out that a song is out the day it comes out because they're like, oh damn, they actually took it out, because you end up just kind of getting like cut out of the conversation after the artist it like has full possession of the song. And that's not really like similar to what happened here, but in a way, like since I didn't really know like the rules or the back end, like I'm just sending something out and I'm not hearing back, so I'm like, whatever.
Did you have
but that lit my fire.
Up that lit my fire. Going to be on the album?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
so that's what I'm saying. Like,
hello?
No, I didn't hear anything. I'm saying like in between like me sending the new vocals and then hearing my vocals on the track. Like I hadn't heard anything for like maybe a month or two, and then the way I found out about it was Ali, and it was like take your girlfriend or take your fiance to work day, like something like that. I think it was take your fiance to work day, and it was like my song playing in the back, and she had tagged me, and I was like,
and that was the first time you heard it.
And so I DM'd her. I was like, send me that right now, and she literally was like, here, and she sent me like a Dropbox file. I think I showed literally my mom's
so
dad,
exciting.
I was obsessed. Everyone was asking me to like send it to them, and I was like, I can't. Like this is like private. Like if you want to listen to it, you have to come over and I'll play it for you. But I'm like not
only in-person.
No
showings.
one could believe me. Like all my friends were like, what the fuck? And
that's so exciting.
But then it took like a year after that happened for it to come out, and that's what I mean by like it's kind of like a little waiting game. They didn't know if it was going to be part of the album because they were working on curating like the final track list for their comeback. Obviously, like it had to be like very particular.
That's like their best album,
which is why I was so fucking honored to be part of their like big comeback and kind of like what really like blew them up with the scene right now. I think it was that album with like all the crazy collabs they had on that, and I think one of the only people on that like on the features on like on the collaborating artists. I think I was like one of the only people that no one knew who the fuck they were.
It's so
that
cool
was amazing.
that started out of just you.
They sent me the record, like the vinyl, and like on the back it's my name, and I remember I cried.
That's amazing. It's so cool. It started out of you just being like motivated to put out content, to put out music, and then look at what that gets you. Like,
well, that's what
why
I'm
you
saying.
Don't stop.
I just don't know why I ever stopped doing that, which is why recently like I've really been like on my fucking A game about posting and just being consistent on the internet, because it has brought me like 2 really great opportunities already when I've just surrendered to it and been like, oh, you know what, fuck it, like I'm gonna post. Every single time I have that mentality, the biggest things have happened to me, I would say. So
I feel like it can be so annoying for an artist is to like put out on the socials, right? Is to make a video, to make a TikTok, to make a reel. It's like it's such an afterthought because you're making art in the meantime, and that's like the big meat of what your career is putting actual music out. And like the reels, the TikToks can be an afterthought, but at the end of the day, that's almost one of the most important pieces of it. Is like
literally why I thank my fucking lucky stars every day that I got a social media job, because I was like, I mean, I was unemployed for like almost a year and a half after working retail. And I was like, I promised myself the next job that I get, it's going to help me sharpen my fucking knives and like have a great tool that's going to carry me through music, whether that's working at a label or working in the industry, like something that felt like it was going to like just only make me better.
Right.
And I was like, wait, why don't I just do social media? Like, it's literally the most important thing right now, I would say, business-wise.
And that's
just
really,
like
really smart.
music-wise.
That's really, really smart. And I'm curious, so your track with More in West End. So for the listeners, Cami is featured on some of these tracks that have literally millions and millions of streams. They're very big and definitely like big moments for you. Was the process similar with West End and More on that track?
It was a little bit different because I think, so like I said, the whole Gorgon City shit, regardless of the song ever coming out or not, when I was kind of in that little gray area when I didn't know what was going to happen with the song, it really lit a fire. That's when I was like, okay, cool. Like I got attention from these people. I can fucking, pick it up and like start doing other shit. And then I started just like hitting up literally everybody that I knew that was working in music around me. And then obviously naturally, because I was posting so much online, people that were already working in music and knew me from like social settings or whatever were hitting me up to collaborate. And then I just started like, it's like, it just happens. Like you kind of just like fall into it and it really started happening. And then, I don't know if they had like teased something with body language. I don't know if it was out. I honestly can't remember. I don't think it was out yet. And more slid into my DMs and they were like, oh, we're working on this music. Like we'd love if you top-lined over it. Top-lining it for anybody that doesn't know is writing melodies to records. And so yeah, they hit me up and I sent them over an idea. There I was a little bit more involved with the writing process. Like it wasn't like they had an idea that was already done and they needed me to cut over it. So I just like shifted over some things and then I never heard back from them again, which at that point I kind of was like, all right, like I'm used to getting ghosted like this. It's fine. It's normal.
Yeah.
And then they hit me up like maybe last year and a half ago being like, hey, like, I don't know if you remember that track, like if you're still like down to like continue working on it, West End wants to hop on and we have like a really good label that wants to put it out. So if you're down. And in that process, I hadn't released music. And when they hit me up, I hadn't released anything in like 2 years.
Wow.
Because I was in the middle of figuring out who the fuck I was. I was like, okay, I love electronic music. I always will. Has my heart. Best parties, best like actual good music when you're out. Like I have such a soft spot for it and I really respect it. And I think it's like something that everybody has to be like primed to and has to experience. And everybody has to fucking like it. Like it's so good. Everyone has to get put on. You'll like
it. You just have to be in the right place at the right
everyone
time.
has to get put on. But I just felt like sonically like and again, like I don't believe in genres at all, but in terms of like work and just like what I was doing at the time, like I didn't really feel like aligned with the music I was making within that sound at the time. Now, I'm sure if I hopped on an electronic record, I'd be down to. I have done multiple sessions with like other artists and producers and DJs and stuff since then, now being in this sonic era that I'm in. But I think in that moment, I was like, I need to see what else is out there for me because I grew up on pop music. Like I said, Hannah Montana was my blueprint. Yeah. And I was like, down to be Hannah Montana, rave edition. But also, I need to figure out like who I am, like really like outside of being like a feature or a collaborating artist on a track. Right. So it was back to the more thing. So they hit me up when I was like figuring that out. So when they were like, oh, do you want to do this? I was like, okay, well, this might be a really good opportunity for me to release my first song under my new, like, I don't want to say alias because it's who I am, under like Cami Bear. I don't know who that was yet. She didn't have a name. But I was like, when I do like my like debut of like this new phase, like it would be really dope. Even though I was trying to like change the sound, it would be really dope to start it off with a bang with like a good label, like good people too. They're all great guys, and a song that was still from like a really pure and raw state in my career. So it was a really great way to start it because it kind of felt like let's pick up where we left off kind of thing.
Right.
And so, all right, you've done some of these major electronic tracks, right? And featured on them. And so how did you like sort of pivot into what you are today, right? And I guess I would characterize it under more of like a pop artist. And I don't know what exact
like
verbiage
experimental pop.
you would use.
I definitely hear a lot
good
of
music.
electronic.
What did that...
But that's what I'm saying. I'll never let it go.
Doing.
I'll never let it go because I'm electronically inclined always because I do think it's cool and upbeat and there's electronic in everything you hear. Obviously not like elevator music, but but you know what I mean.
But
like
it's
in a lot of modern
becoming
more
popular.
And recently it's been like very, very fused into like pop culture.
Like Charlie.
Like, exactly. Yeah. So I always knew that that's something that I wanted to do kind of, but I was still figuring out like what other sounds worked for me. I've grown up on like R&B and like more like, you know, just like R&B and hip hop for me are like amazing. Like that's what I listen to like maybe 9 out of 10 times. It's what I'm always listening to.
I listen to hip hop so much.
So it like really has influenced me. So I was like trying to figure out like where that like middle ground or like where that like space was for me. So yeah, this like new sonic journey, like it took a really long time. I'm not gonna lie, it was like probably of everything I've experienced, it was the darkest time for me as an artist because I felt super, super confused as to like what I was doing, who I was. I was like, fuck, like I got thrown into the wolves to these 2 great records that have like millions of streams and now what? Like now what? Because I don't want to keep, like, now I want to do my own thing, but I know the numbers aren't going to look the same. I know the journey is not going to look the same. I know the support's not going to look the same because, you know, you're releasing these songs through labels. So you have marketing is sorted out, cover art is sorted out, advance is sorted out, numbers are sorted. Like, you don't have to fucking worry about shit. You just have to worry about, like, promoting the song on your own and, like, doing your own thing and, like, whatever and everything that happens when you have a team. But since I was, like, doing this all by myself and, like, figuring it out, I was like, fuck, like, I was, like, really, really afraid of, like, what was going to happen when I did put out a song without that support. And I was also really afraid of my electronic audience. How are they going to perceive my now, like, popish music? Like, because I know a lot of music snobs, like, don't think that that's real music. A lot of music snobs don't think that that kind of stuff is real music.
Well, first of all, for all the music snobs, all music is real music.
No, the real music snobs know it's real music, but there's a lot of people that are like, take that trash off. And I'm
no, I know. And, like, I hate this so much. Like, music snobs saying what's real and what's not. It's like everyone, the way that everyone wears different clothes and eats different food is going to like different music. And
don't put your music taste
big
on
message
other people.
here on B2B is all music is real music.
And, like, I've always known that. But again, like, you're always, you know, like, having these ego deaths as an artist, and I hadn't had that ego death yet. I was still, like, really afraid of being perceived at the time. So yeah, it was, like, really difficult for me, and it was a really dark time because I didn't even know what my name was. Imagine that. Like, I didn't even know who I was going to be.
Full name, right?
Yeah, it was my full name because I just felt like I was putting my name on, like, oh, I'm turning this in, so, like, Cami is
that's my essay for the day.
No, I was like, fuck it, SATs, here we go. But no, it's not like that. And so figuring out who you are as an artist and creating a brand and figuring out who you are is probably the hardest part. Like, you know, having that aha moment of, like, who are you? And it was really difficult for me, but I think I nailed it.
I think you nailed it.
I think I nailed it.
You found a vein.
I worked my fucking ass off. It's just, like, I feel so good about the way that people receive it. And, like, when people are like, oh my God, but I know your brand. Like, I see you in 2 seconds. You have it all down packed. When people tell me that, it is, like, the highest form of flattery for me because you have no idea how down bad I've been over that process.
And if you're listening and you don't know Cami Bear yet, like, follow her on Instagram. She is clearly so her brand. And,
it
like,
took a while. It was a lot of heavy lifting.
It's definitely, like, you have a creative direction behind all of it, and it's definitely cool to see someone who, like, is fully on top of everything when it comes to, like, who you want to be, your brand, how you present yourself, and, like, what you're creating.
And I do literally everything by myself, so I mean, it makes everything more rewarding, but that also adds a huge layer of darkness to the process because you feel like you're like, okay, like, everything I do is my decision. Like, I'm not gonna have anybody telling me, like, wake up and do this. Like, it's like you are your own boss, and you need to get your shit together. And if you don't have, like, people telling you, like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do this week for your project, no one is gonna do it for you.
Right.
Like, so it's just you have to get up and set those goals and those, you know, like, have that to-do list with yourself every week.
You need a goal book.
You need a goal book.
But yeah, so I will say, I mean, I don't regret the way that anything has happened. And I think that layer of that darkness that I went through when I was, like, trying to figure out who I was and kind of, like, stepping out of the scene and jumping into another one was really difficult for me, but it would not, like, I wouldn't be Cami Bear without that. Like, not at all.
Well, I think your recent releases, like, speak to what's to sort of come, right?
And they're getting there. Like, I feel so distant from that music now.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy because now I listen to that stuff and I'm like, they don't even know. You don't know what's coming.
Well, it's right, because you're in the studio day in, day out, I assume, and just, like, literally churning out content
at
and new
least, like, 2-3 times a week. Yeah.
Right.
Well, Cami, there's one thing that we need to talk about before we sum this episode up.
I'm afraid.
The viewers and Ross and I need to know.
I'm looking at the screen like, what, guys? What?
Why does Peppa Pig follow you on TikTok?
Me and Peppa.
Why are you and Peppa Pig like this?
I'm actually grew up in Miami. Actually, I don't know if Peppa's a girl or a boy.
She was our bodyguard at Ultra.
Peppers. No, so Peppa.
Peppers. Her official government name, Peppers. Piglet.
Cheers to Peppers.
Okay. Peppa Pig follows me because it was my last day at my retail job. my boyfriend threw me a surprise party to like celebrate that I was like free, like on to the next chapter of your life. And I had no idea. And I walked in and he threw me a Peppa Pig surprise party. I actually had no fucking idea, because how the fuck would I ever fucking know that someone is going to pull up on me with all of Party City Peppa Pig section.
Wait, are you a Peppa Pig girl to that extent? Were you a Peppa Pig girl?
I really like wasn't like, I just thought that it was like
he saw a theme and he ran with it.
I just thought it was like funny, and like I would like send some Peppa memes like every now and then,
Peppa
but
Pig's
it wasn't
cute.
like Hello Kitty, you know?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't Hello
that's
Kitty.
your girl.
Yeah. I walk in and there was a Peppa Pig party being thrown for me, and the first thing I did was film. I was in one of those like, we need to get back on the internet, guys, phases of my life. And I have these rude awakenings like all the time. I'm like, guys, no, internet is where it's at.
No, me too.
No, I'm like, hence internet. I have to get a social media job. I have to get a social media
it's
job.
crazy.
All my internet
We can't
side
get away
quests,
from it.
my virality. At the time, the beige flag trend was happening. If you guys don't know what that is, beige flag, it's like when you don't know if it's green or red, and it kind of makes you stop and
It's
think,
like,
and you're like, okay,
could be cool.
And so I was like, my boyfriend's beige flag is that he'll throw me random surprise parties. This week's theme is Peppa Pig. And I posted that, and I literally was like, it's not gonna go viral. Whatever. I checked back for some.
do.
No, I was like, they literally never do. I was like, I'm stuck in 300 jail, like whatever. I was stuck in 300 jail at first, like, but
I'm
then
stuck
first,
in
like,
that.
me too. I was stuck for
Perpetually.
like maybe like 2 hours, and then I kind of was like, you know what, fuck it, like just enjoy your Peppa Pig surprise party. It's okay.
It's not for the people. It's for
I
you.
ate my goldfish. I cheersed some champagne. Like, no, fully though.
Is this all Peppa Pig thing? Like, is Peppa the Pig likes goldfish?
No, I just like goldfish.
Oh, me too. Flavor
And
blasted.
No, just the
Just
regular
like
ones.
goldfish.
Original. It's like Cordell with Cheez-Its, but me with goldfish.
Dude, I love that. I love that.
Shout out
so
Cordell.
much.
Shout out Cordell.
Cordeezy.
I love him. Okay. The Peppa Pig stuff. And so then I'm going to sleep, and I'm checking the views, and I see that I had like 7,000, which is crazy. And I kept refreshing. It hit 10K. I was like, wow, crazy. I just hit 10K. I'd never hit 10K. I had hit 10K like back in the day when COVID was in, and like TikTok had just started, because it was way easier to go viral back then. But this was like, I was in the trenches, and like, so when I had 7K turn into 10K, I was like, call me fucking Alex Earl at this point.
Actually,
I was like, brand deals, let them roll. Let them roll. And
Goldfish?
Goldfish? No,
goldfish in the DM.
I went to sleep, and when I woke up, my boyfriend just says, have you checked your phone? And I was like,
You're like, what?
So nonchalant.
I was like, no. And he's like, dude, you went viral. But like in the most like negative tone, like just like,
It's like, oh, we went viral.
he's like, dude, you went viral. And he's like, and it's all because of me. And I click, and guys, I had 700,000 views.
Wow.
For those of you who don't know, it's at 13.8
0.8.
million.
Yeah, wild.
Creator
That's
Fund.
a lot of people.
No, I'm not even on it because I don't have 10K followers. But whatever.
Same.
I had 13.8 million views now, which was crazy. But then one turned to 2, and it was wild at the moment. I had crazy comments. I had like Jimmy John's, Microsoft, Elf Cosmetics.
You're like, send me.
I told him to send me
The brand
sandwiches for the
deals.
comeback party that I was gonna do for him.
Did they?
No. Party City commented on it, and then who else commented on it? I don't know.
I feel like Party City could have
Crazy
got
people.
involved heavily.
I'm glad we're talking about this, because I always
to
wonder what
guys,
happened.
I went to Party
like,
City
what's
after,
the
because
ultra
I
viral?
did like a little like comeback like party to him, because his birthday was the
like
week
a beige
afterwards.
flag party for him.
No, I did like an Elmo, a Sesame
return.
Street
Right,
one.
right,
I
right. Yeah,
returned the favor,
Yeah.
and it was like I did a whole series. Like those were actually doing really well. I had like minimum like 100K views on each one. Like it was doing
You found
really
your
well.
niche.
Yeah, no, and then it died because I tried to pivot it back into music, and they
They're
were
like,
like,
back to me now.
"Get this girl off."
One thing about the niche is like, if you're in it,
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
can't do anything else. But you ended up on NBC, like the
Yeah, the
Today
Today
Show.
Show.
Excuse me.
That to this day is my top one, like number one side quest I've ever been on.
That is
was
a huge
yeah.
the
side
Today
quest.
Show, NBC Today Show.
Did they put you up well?
Whenever I like pitch songs to DSPs, which are like Spotify and Apple Music, they always ask you for like your accolades and like
Yeah, yeah.
accomplishments,
That's
and they're
a
like,
Just send
they're
them
like,
the clip.
they're like any like notable press or TV placements or radio placements, and I was like NBC Today Show with Savannah Sellers.
You're like,
how
ask
many
me
aura
about
points did I
verification.
lose when I went on the Today Show and mentioned my music 10 times, and they cut out every single mention?
1,000.
The Today Show wouldn't let her talk talk about anything related to her success and career.
They were like,
you're here for one thing and one thing only, Missy.
They asked,
Peppa.
and so when I went on the Zoom with them, by the way, the Zoom I took when I was on vacation with my boyfriend's family, like I was like at dinner with them, and I'm like, sorry guys, I have to leave early because I have to wake up early because I am going on the Today Show. So,
okay,
So I'm cooler than all of you. Keep going.
I mean, if I was them, I would be like, this girl doesn't like hanging out with us, and she's lying. Like who?
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Woke up super early, like at 7 a.m. because I was like trying to adjust to the time zone, and I'm there like, oh hi, like with like the light, and she's like, do you mind going to like somewhere else in the room because I can't really see you? And I was like literally in the back, and you see like all of like, where was that, Punta Cana, like all behind me, and I'm there like, hello. And she was like, so I have to ask you like, what are some of your boyfriend's beige flags like of you? Like what are some of your beige flags to your boyfriend? And I was like, well, he's actually in the room. She's like, get him. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I made him hide in the bathroom because he was like obstructing the views. And I'm like, okay, so like I like
you pull him out of the bathroom. You're like, okay, come out now.
I was like, come. And he's like, what? And so I go to the front, and I was like, what's like my beige flag? And he was just like, and
he's like, Cami, fuck you.
I've literally never seen someone answer something quicker. I was like,
He's
like, oh, I'm happy you asked.
my guy had these in the vault ready. He was ready.
The SpongeBob fucking.
He said, he's like my girlfriend's beige. He said that my beige flag was that like I'll quote like really niche like TV shows and movies and quotes that literally nobody will know around me, and I'll say them. I'll say them like it's like I'm quoting fucking Forrest Gump. Like I'll say it. I'm like, oh, like I like quote like Cheetah Girls and stuff like that. It's mostly like banter between me and like one of my really really good like my best friend actually. Hey girl, hey girl, she knows who she is.
Well, anyway, Peppa Pig story is like literally my favorite thing in the world.
Everybody. My phone was blowing up.
No, it's crazy.
An extent. Like everybody was like, Cami, what is going on? And I'm like,
these are things that truly can only happen in the 21st century.
And to me, truly.
And to you.
Like, because what? And then, but now every single time I post, and guys, no one will let me like live this down. Every single time I post anything on TikTok that goes over like 1,000 views, it's always people going, why is Peppa Pig following you? And then I try to bring it back and do a TikTok about her, and people are just like,
they're like, it's over actually.
They're like, now, yeah.
What is your number one song right now that you have been playing all week long?
Taylor Swift by A$AP Rocky.
I thought you were gonna say a Taylor Swift song, and I was about to be like, delete the episode.
No, it's Taylor Swift by
Sorry,
A$AP
Swifties.
Rocky.
We're not Swifties on this.
Have you guys heard it? The new A$AP Rocky song?
No.
It's really, really good. I love it.
listen
I
to
just
it.
love
I'm
A$AP Rocky
so
in general.
excited to hear.
Yeah, that
I
song
love
is
A$AP.
super bomb. And Caribou, I love Running
And it's
Late.
called Taylor Swift?
It's called Taylor Swift. And he's like, I'm too swift. Don't tell Taylor about this shit.
Oh, I love that. Okay, we're going to listen to
Caribou
that.
is amazing too.
Mine is As I Ran by Yam. Dude, this song, I'm obsessed. We played it on the way here.
she loves it.
Who played it? That
I
you got it from?
Burning Man.
Okay, it was Adam 10 played it at Burning Man. One of my friends was there, posted on his story. I go, I need this track. He sent it to me. And ever since that day, I've been blasting it on repeat. Like anyone listening, please listen to this song. Get 4 minutes in and then thank me later.
Yeah, 4
But
minutes.
wait, 4 minutes in is when it breaks down.
Obsessed with. Let me tell you guys right
But
now.
one thing I noticed was, not that I noticed, but I was like doing research on this song because I hadn't heard of the artist. It's like this Ukrainian duo. And I guess the lyrics of the song is like a folk tale. It's like a folk tale about a goat or something. So
That sounds exactly like what I would think it would be.
yeah. So that's what we've been blasting. Let us know what you guys have been listening to this week.
Bella and Ross are the biggest yappers I've ever met. So and I'm the biggest yapper I've ever met. So when the yappers come together,
We're yapping.
this and yap.
This and yap.
Cami, where can we find you going forward? What are the big things that are coming?
Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram at Cami Bear World with WRLD. You know I didn't put the O in there because we're fucking artsy like that. Cami Bear World. And then my TikTok is It's Cami Bear. So follow me on both. I'm posting about because I'm in the internet era right now.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
And what's next for you?
And what's next for me? You'll just have to find out.
Ooh, she's secretive. Anyway, thanks guys for listening. This was so much fun. I could talk to you for hours, honestly.
Same.
But we're coming soon with another episode. And as you know, like, subscribe, follow, give us the ratings, give us the comments, let us know your feedback. If you loved it, if you hate it, we want to know. And once again, thank you.
Cami,
Thank
Thank you guys for having me. We should do this again, like
We
in a
should.
year, and
Yeah.
we could like,
And we'll see
we could
how
look
far
back at
we've
this
come.
one, and we'll be like,
You're going to be like playing the VMAs and we'll probably still be in the studio.
we should have talked about
But guess what?
smack.
Ooski out.
Ooski out, baby.
Wee.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for listening.
Wait, let me do one little thing.